What on earth am I doing here? Many of us struggle with the questions of why I am here and what am I supposed to do. We feel we have something to accomplish, something to say, something to do. But what? How do I know? Before one of us can get to the answer, there are a few things we should know. We have common life purposes. And then we also have more specialized purposes and destinies. First things first. Who are you? And did you exist before the foundations of the earth were created? Were you a mere thought in the mind of God before you were born, or did you exist with Him in the heavenly spheres for eons before you were born into a body here on earth? The prison planet. As a spiritual being in a human body, you are stuck in this flesh suit from the day you are born till the very day you die and leave this world behind. You are imprisoned in the confines of this world of the senses. The world of matter where seemingly if you can't see, smell or touch it, it does not exist. In spirit it is very different. Time and space do not exist. Telepathy and teleportation is the way of life. Does it sound like a sci-fi movie? Those who have had NDEs, near-death experiences, all have several testimonies in common. If it was random one might have asked questions, but once you study the stories and experiences, once you have experienced them yourself, there can be no doubt in your mind. After all, faith is believing before seeing. The Bible records, Ephesians 1, that the names of the elect of God were written in the Lamb's book of life, before the foundations of the earth were laid. You were alive and kicking, so to speak, and saved before you were born into your bodysuit here on the prison planet, where leaving by free will choice is not an option. A spiritual being not in a body, not fallen, can leave one dimension for another at free will. Those here on earth cannot. The cycle must be completed. We are stuck here until the number of our days has been fulfilled. On the planet we called Earth, many different spiritual beings are born into bodysuits. Heaven consists of many layers, many dimensions. A hierarchy of places and beings of which Earth is a copy. What exists on earth surely exists in heaven in an uncorrupted version, needless to say. It all began with God, prime creator. A good example will be the hierarchy of the angels. There are archangels, angels, cherubs, and seraphim. Seraphim. An angelic being, regarded in traditional Christian angelology as belonging to the highest order of the ninefold celestial hierarchy, associated with light, ardor, and purity. Dr. Eben Alexander, a top world neurosurgeon, and skeptic, fell into a deep coma due to bacterial meningitis, from a particularly vicious strain of E. coli. An NDE experience led to his study of consciousness and the nature of reality itself. He recounts, "Through the orb, God told me that there is not one universe but many, in fact, more than I could conceive, but that love lay at the center of them all. Evil was present in all the other universes as well, but only in the tiniest trace amounts. Evil was necessary because without it free will was impossible, and without free will there could be no growth, no forward movement, no chance for us to become what God longed for us to be. Horrible and all-powerful as evil sometimes seemed to be in a world like ours, in the larger picture love was overwhelmingly dominant, and it would ultimately be triumphant. Here on earth we have beings incarnated from various dimensions and universes. Some are the one-third fallen, who rebelled with Satan and was thrown out of heaven and cast down. Where to? Let me give you something to think about. Jesus in the desert was tempted by Satan, taken up on a high mountain, and were shown the kingdoms of the earth. Satan offered these kingdoms to Jesus in exchange for his worship. Why would Satan offer something to Jesus, the incarnated firstborn Son of God, that wasn't his to offer? What Satan offered Jesus in that moment was a temptation, something that would potentially sway the Son of God. Earth is where Satan rules, where his throne is. Revelation 3, John 14:30. Jesus says, "The ruler of this world is coming," talking about Satan. For anyone to understand why they are here, they must grasp that you are already in Satan's kingdom, and it is called hell. We are not here to stay out of hell. We are here to get back to heaven. and Jesus came to show us how to get out. If you listened to or read my previous teachings, you will know that Jesus taught hidden knowledge to some, as in this world not all beings in a human suit are from the Father. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but are eternal infinite spiritual beings having a human experience. Trying to find our way out of hell. Out of the cycle of rebirth, e.g. reincarnation. Yes, I said reincarnation. Jesus talks about it, and it is a verse that very few pastors or Christian teachers will touch. You must stand knowing you are an ambassador of the Most High Creator, living in a prison body on a prison planet, under the rule of the enemy, in his domain. We are soldiers in enemy territory, and we are here to be our highest selves against all odds. Allowing the Creator and source of all to overtake us completely by true surrender to the ways of God. We cannot play this game by natural senses and human ways. Only our allowance and opening for God to fully work through us can we live fully conscious of who we are. We are indeed eternal spiritual beings temporarily in memory loss and in imprisonment. Walking humbly next to the magnificent Creator is the only way to return to the remembrance of oneness, as the Creator leads us through lessons and contracts we made before we came. Lessons and contracts for our highest growth and highest outcome. Living fully conscious is to be who we are in spirit, it is being able to incorporate it into our daily living. In a world full of distractions, desires, and necessities, it is being able to choose the spiritual perspective over the daily demands and perceptions. And then live it. Be it. By speaking the lingo, religious, metaphysical, scientific, and then training our behavior to comply with what it should be, but not seeking a one-on-one relationship with our prime Creator. Our original blueprint, the one who knows and understands us completely. We are fooling only ourselves. This journey was not meant to be one of isolation. We have help. Do it His way, not yours. Only Source in us can enable us to be our highest potential. And that is to be as Jesus. And greater works than these will He do, Jesus.